Do you think Adam Peters is panicking today? I was just driving around yesterday, and everybody who, I guess, witnessed the joint scrimmage, they were apoplectic. I heard Mitch Tischler on with Grant and Danny, and what jumped out at me, and I know there are different phrases, and we're going to have Nicky Javal on, and people are using the word inoperable, but the thing which jumped out to me was he said, if this was a real game, the Commanders' offense might not have had 100 yards.
Right.
Is that what he said?
Well, I think, listen.
That's a lot. It's concerning.
Listen, there's no bright spot, but the only thing you can hang your hat on is you can hope that Allegretti will be there in week 1 and Cosme will be there. That'll settle things down a little bit. But that's not to say that they'll be great. No, I don't think anybody thinks that at this point. But you had Cosme missing because of illness, Allegretti out because of the calf. Of course, you've lost Tunsil. So you had Brandon Coleman at left tackle, and at this point, he looks like a Pro Bowler compared to the rest of the stuff he's dealing with. You had Chris Paul at left guard. You had Matt Goldman, the rookie, at center. You had Julian Good-Jones, who wasn't good enough at center, so they moved him over to guard. And then another rookie that I've never heard of, Tanoa Togi, rotating at guard. And then you had Connerly, last year's top pick, at right tackle. So it was just a makeshift unit, and I don't think that's a unit that we would start. But the good news is it's a big eye-opener, in my opinion, for if there's ever any doubt that we have enough depth at the offensive line. Obviously, we don't, and I think that clearly they're going to have to make some moves here. By all accounts, everybody that watched that yesterday said it was basically the worst offensive performance they've seen in years in a joint practice situation. Now, the Ravens are really good, so chalk that up. That's part of it. They looked really good just 2 weeks ago against the Dolphins, who are really bad. So we're not the worst team in football. The Dolphins might be up there in the running, but we might be in the running.
It's not a good thing to hear.
Not good.
It's not ideal to have to bring in new bodies when it's almost September, but if that's what you have to do to upgrade the play of the offensive line, that's what Adam Peters and his staff are absolutely going to have to do when cutdown day happens on Sunday.
Yeah.
They'll be sifting through all of those cuts.
For sure.
To try to find
Eric makes
bodies to bring in
Eric
here.
makes a good point. I mean, they were down 3 starters in a joint practice. Okay.
Well, certainly
so
2/5.
They hopefully will have 2 of those guys back. I would assume definitely Cosme. So 1 guy, and then hopefully Allegretti. So then you'll be down 1 starter out for the year, but you'll be down.
And Coleman, I think, is going to
1
be
instead of
serviceable.
3.
Honestly, of all the problems right now, I'm not that worried about Coleman. He'll get beat, but I think he'll be okay.
But the problem is if those guys go down,
there's nothing.
I'll go down.
It's a real problem.
Then it's a real
huge issue.
Yeah.
And offensive linemen get hurt every day.
Yeah, all the time.
I mean, every day.
Yeah.
Listening to Mitch, though, one point that was brought up, and I think Grant brought this up, is Allegretti had 80 snaps last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a backup.
I know.
Yeah,
He's a backup that they've moved
is,
to be the starting team
But he's
center.
still slotted to be a starter,
I know the
so
team
you
is confident
have to
in
assume
him.
he's going to be better.
Team's confident in him.
Mildly confident.
Somewhat.
They tried to go out in free agency and get a center.
I know
Well,
I'm
they're trying to
not
get the best
confident in
one.
him. I'm not confident in Allegretti.
Why don't they just
even at full
spend
strength?
the money? What is the deal? Just spend the money.
I mean, they were trying to with Linderbaum, and he just got out of control.
Just spend it.
Spent
Yeah, but
$29 million
now
on a
it's
Yeah,
center.
but he's one of the top 2 or 3 at his position.
Now
Seems
it's
a
too
wild
late.
overspend.
I know it's too late. I'm
Now
just
it's
saying
too late.
they had all this cap room,
Yeah.
and they decided not to spend it. But I don't know. It's too late.
I don't know.
You're right.
I guess they didn't want to set the market at center, whatever. They made that decision. It is what it is.
It's easy to question it now.
I actually do think it's good that we got exposed. The worst thing could have happened is we gone out there and kind of were neutral. Maybe the Ravens were taking it easy on us or whatever, and we weren't quite exposed.
A
like
false
this.
sense of confidence.
Now,
Yeah,
it wasn't all bad news either.
For sure.
There were some positives from the joint practice. Antonio Williams looked really good.
Yeah,
some
he's
of the clips.
I'm telling you, I don't dare use the word star.
He's going to be the number 3. He'll be the
a
3.
Very good player. What jumped out at anybody that watched him is the way he runs his routes. You saw it yesterday. They put the clips. He's just smoking guys at the line of
I
scrimmage.
mean, some people were tweeting that they were getting Amon-Ra St. Brown type vibes from him.
That's been the
I mean,
comparison.
If you get a poor man's Amon-Ra in Antonio Williams, that's a massive hit.
He's
with your
just
pick.
got a different wiggle.
Yeah.
And that's what jumped out at people. So I think he's going to be great. And I think also, you take it for what it's worth. Listen, when they were on 11-11, by all accounts, there were batted balls, drop passes, interceptions,
Bad snaps.
over the head, all of that. And like literally everything, like nightmare fuel you could think of. But when they were on the 7-on-7s, when you kind of take the offensive line out of the question, they said they looked really sharp. Jaden continued to look really sharp. He just had zero time to get anything done.
So they'd be a good flag football team?
They'd be a great flag football team. They'd be great in Texas, wherever they do 7-on-7s, in high school.
Right.
No, but I think the point is, it's so obvious, blatantly obvious to dopes like us that they got to address this, that I think, and it's happened early enough that you can only get so much, but maybe they're going to have to dig deep and make a trade, and actually give up some real capital and not just get someone's garbage.
The money quote from Nicky Javala was, "This is the worst I've ever seen the Commanders' offense in years. Inoperable offensive line." And it was universal. I saw somebody tweet us, "Oh, well, that's just Nicky Javala's opinion."
No,
it was
everybody.
It was everybody's opinion. How does that make you feel as a Commanders fan? 1-800-636-1067.
Told you it was dark yesterday.
Are you in a state of panic? Or do you just say, hey, they've got a bunch of guys who are injured.
Well,
this isn't
were out.
really the representation of what you're going to see in their opener against the Eagles. They should be fine.
I hope David Blau has a good amount of bootlegs in his offense for Jaden Daniels to get moving away from the pressure.
You know
that's
what?
Gonna be
Quick
facing him.
I know that David
in
Blau
week
wants
one.
to play more under center.
Yeah.
Maybe he should just play shotgun. So you're a little bit further away from those guys.
I mean,
when you have a suspect offensive line,
if Carter,
play a little bit further away.
If Carter and company are in everybody's face in the first series or two, you're probably going to see a little shift towards that.
That's the other thing. I mean, not only are you again, the schedule's brutal. You're playing teams with unbelievable, front fours, etc., front sevens, whatever you want to call it. They know that we're struggling in that area too, and they're not only are they just good on their own, they're going to get after it and try to expose you.
Yeah,
like it's going to be even worse.
The Eagles coaches, and I'm guaranteeing that the
their chops.
Commanders coaches are doing the same thing. They're gearing up for week one.
Yeah.
That's what they've probably been doing that for a couple weeks.
Right.
Eagles coaching staff, they're gearing up for week one, so they're going to try and take advantage of
They
it.
have to face a Vic Fangio defense in week one with a subpar offensive line.
Now, part of it is it's not just that these guys are subpar, and that's probably true on some level, right? Like, Julian Good-Jones played 2 snaps ever, There's a reason he's like 28, 29, been around a long time, just barely played. But also, when you have such a makeshift group in there, everyone knows that offensive line play, communication is so big. They don't have any experience with each other. You know what I mean? And even when you get Allegretti in there, to your point of him only having 80-some snaps or whatever it is at center, I think Allegretti will be okay, personally. I might differ from Cakes. But he's got to get the reps to get the communication down with the guys.
Yeah, cohesion is big with your offensive line. If you miss a big chunk of training camp and you miss the games and the joint scrimmages, it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough to get plugged in there, especially if you're bringing in new guys that are getting cut from other teams after the last preseason game. Then you have to get them used to your system, get them assimilated.
I'm guessing it's a 5-alarm fire over at Ashburn right now. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if some guys didn't even go home last night.
Does it change your approach for the final preseason game? Do you say, you know what, we're going to get these guys back on the field?
I don't know, because you're playing against bums. I don't know that helps you.
To get your starters out,
know.
Are you talking about playing Jaden Daniels specifically?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Play the first team offense.
No, I don't think so. You just got now.
If you were the coach,
lock it down.
You might trot him back out there.
Yeah.
But Dan Quinn isn't going to.
No.
I'm from the Tom Brady school.
Okay.
Yeah, you would do it, but DQ's not.
Yeah, I still don't know what you gain from even if you smoke third teamers. I mean, maybe you get to work on your communication.
They got to work on those type of things.
Yeah, but you can do that in practice. I mean, there is a utility to practice.
They've been practicing.
Yeah, but not necessarily this group together. It was a pretty makeshift group. That's the only thing to give you pause from flat out full blown panic.
Yeah. Is
that 2/5, right? 40% of your offensive line that you expect to be there in week one wasn't there, and you're truly playing guys like Tanoa, Toga. I don't even know how to say the guy's name, and I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't even know how to guy. He was rotating apparently with Julian Good-Jones.
Yeah, he was rotating.
Who
in there.
struggled
I read that.
at center. Don't mean to be disrespectful to him. Sure, he's a great athlete, but it's a big jump. And Golban, his first shot at this level.
It's a tough spot for Golban. He's a 6th round pick. You want to ease that guy in and not put him in such high leverage situations as a rookie, but he might be forced into the fray. With all the injuries.
The best case is that was just a group that was gonna eat it. There was no way around it. You're going against a very, very good Ravens team. The Ravens team is expected to win 10, 11 games, and you just had so much inexperience up front that you didn't have a shot. That's the best case.
You would, and you're going to get 2 of those guys back. Let's hope.
Get 2 of those guys back and hope. Yeah. And I think that Allegretti will be okay.
And I think that they're definitely on the phones trying to work something out.
But it should be a 5-alarm fire,
or
to get depth.
If not, making a trade for a lineman, trying to get a free agent. They mentioned that guy Glasgow.
Is it Graham Glasgow? He's a free agent. I think he's 34 years old.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Those guys there's a reason why they've been free agents this long.
I know.
I guarantee. My guess would be they're all so banged up. They're a shadow of them for Marcel.
I'm sure
they
still
probably give him
are.
a call. I'd still fly him in here and see what he's got.
I'm sure they are
at this point.
Yeah, they're
sure they
so
are.
banged up. It's
sure
just
they are.
they've been through the wars. Offensive line guys. I mean, those are car accidents every play.
But when they play the Eagles, they're not going to be starting, Jones and Golban.
Right,
all
it'll be a little bit better. Yeah. It'll be a little bit better. I think it's actually
going to be great.
Not going to be great
Because you're going to be going against studs.
Yeah.
And also
it's Pro Bowlers.
And also, and I'm not sure how they do it in control. They probably do it a little less. They're going to probably, they're going to chip more. They're going to have that extra tight end. They're going to do other things. Yeah. They're going to say, okay, obviously we need help here. They're not necessarily doing that in a controlled scrimmage. In controlled scrimmage, they want to see what they got.
True, but
that was good news. We saw what we got. Not a lot.
I hope Bill's ready to block in year 2.
But see, this is a challenge, not just for that offensive line, because you're going against Davis and Jordan Davis
Jalen Carter.
and Jalen Carter, 2 studs at DT.
Those guys are going to eat.
This is a challenge for David Blau.
Definitely.
Because David Blau is a rookie OC. Now, I know he's smart and he knows offense. And he's been thinking about everything. He's been thinking about the Eagles for weeks. But this is a challenge for him. Big time.
If your offensive line isn't performing up to the level that you need them to in a hostile environment in week 1, it's going to be tough.
Makes me think of the comments, and we haven't played him this week, that Colin Cowherd had earlier this week where he picked the Commanders last. And one of the things he kind of threw out there was that Kingsbury left. And we really don't know the real story. Did Kingsbury leave because he wasn't feeling good about things?
Hold on, you're making it sound like Kingsbury left of his own accord. He was basically thrown overboard.
Well,
he didn't just.
I heard.
Well, that's the way that Colin portrayed it, and I don't know that he was thrown overboard.
No, it was mutual on both sides. My understanding, and Kyle kind of talked about it, is that he wanted out, they wanted out, everybody wanted out.
Mutual parting of the ways.
Right, so he wanted out. Why did he want out?
Part of the reason, my understanding, is just communications.
Probably the way they're had a meeting with Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn sits him down and says, "Hey, are you willing to have Jaden under center more?" And he said, "No, I'm going to run my offense the way I have always run it."
They wanted to do some different things.
Well, then there's the door.
I know, but maybe, we don't know this, maybe Cliff Kingsbury is a better offense coordinator than David Blau.
Well, it's very possible.
Of course it's possible.
Of course. That's totally
He
possible.
has a track record of success.
Totally possible.
Including Jaden's rookie season.
But they both wanted out. So it wasn't going to happen this year with that group. Regardless. So, I don't know. Will David Blau be a good coordinator? I don't know. No idea. We'll see.
I'm not pining. Are you pining for Cliff Kingsbury to be back?
No.
No, but I wonder if Blau in this offense is going to be as good as anything that Cliff Kingsbury could have done. Cliff Kingsbury is proven.
True.
Yeah, he's also, his system has limitations. It's a unique system. It's like a one of one in the league. I think everybody it's been a breath of fresh air that they're moving guys pre-snap, that they're going to give different looks, not going to be under center as much, for good reasons, not just for dressing.
But what we didn't hear under Cliff Kingsbury was that the offense was inoperable. We didn't hear.
Well, you also didn't have
during
Julian
Cliff
Good-Jones,
Kingsbury.
Tanoa Tagalai.
He had injuries.
And all these other guys.
I don't think
We
Not
never,
like that.
we
I don't
never
think this
heard
bad
it was,
on the offensive
we
line.
never heard it was the worst offense in years.
Okay,
Yeah.
this was a practice. Let's not get crazy.
I understand.
Yeah. It's a practice. And
It just makes me wonder.
Guys. It's not a Blau
Now, if they
thing.
go to Philly and they get dump trucked and lose 31-7,
Yeah.
and the offense can't move,
then we're going to
and
question
they're
it.
living in the backfield, and Jaden's running around the
John Paul
entire
Flame,
game.
we're going to question
It's
it.
certainly not a confidence booster when everybody is saying that it was the worst
It's
performance
bad.
they've seen.
Yeah, but I
in
don't
years.
think anybody's insinuating it's a Blau thing. You're doing kind of maybe you're doing a different bit, but
I'm not doing a different bit. I said I'm curious. I'm wondering.
No one's insinuating that.
And I'm not saying Cliff Kingsbury was the best offense coordinator in football. He's not. You could probably name 3 or 4 guys off the top of your head who have better reputations.
How about 10?
But he's had success.
He's had moments
in the league,
for sure,
including here.
And then he's also has a track
and
record
his
of success
offenses
goes down. So he has initial success and then it goes down.
But his offenses were never called inoperable.
I think what JP's trying to say is that maybe Cliff would be better suited to handle the line deficiencies more than a rookie.
Why? Because
first year.
he runs more shotgun. I mean, maybe.
Well, he's more experienced.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fine. It's possible. David Blau is the worst offensive coordinator ever.
Well,
it's possible.
No one's saying that.
Or
but
the worst one in the league.
But
it's possible.
Are you getting a little defensive?
I'm getting a little defensive because this is not an indictment on the offense as a whole, in my opinion.
No, and they're going to work on that.
Yeah,
they're going to adjust that. But I'm just saying it's a challenge for Blau because he hasn't been there before.
Right.
Sure.
Cliff has run the
I'm not saying he's bad.
David Blau is totally unproven, but I also don't think he's going to. I actually don't think he's going to throw up.
But he's
all over
also
himself.
going to have 2 of those guys back.
Yeah,
we would assume.
That's what you got to keep
they
in mind.
need those guys back. They better be
And they
back.
might have another guy if they go out and make a trade or sign a guy.
Yeah, I agree with you, Eric. I think Cliff has limitations, a la like Greg Roman, where things can be great, but you kind of have a glass ceiling. But Cliff has been there before and might be better equipped to handle, everything going sideways in a season.
I
as
just
opposed
feel
to
like it's a wild. I hear you, and I think I can understand why someone would think that, but I just don't think you even need to go to that hypothetical at this point until he starts throwing up all over himself.
And also, if Cliff
like,
was
there's
so
no
in
reason
demand,
to think that he's going to fail.
if Cliff was so great and so in demand, I think he would have landed a different job than offensive. He's an offensive assistant with the Rams, right?
He's
Yes.
basically
At this point,
just
Consultant.
He's just standing there in his
wouldn't
sunglasses.
Wouldn't he have like an OC job or maybe even a head coaching gig?
Not if he wasn't in a rush to get there.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Okay.
still making money from 19 different employers.
I understand, but like I feel like he would have landed in a more prominent spot,
Well, maybe he's just taking his time for picking his next spot.
possibly. Or it's also possible there wasn't a lot of demand for Cliff Kingsbury on the market.
Yeah.
There's
I
that
just don't think
possibility,
that
too.
yesterday's performance on any level at this point is an indictment on Blau.
So this is what Coward said, and it was after the preseason game. Because if you actually toss in the one series and then you go with this, the offense has struggled. So he said, Coward said, I've said Washington last place is my pick. Jaden Daniels, 3 snaps, incompletion, sack, run play, punt, all we saw. The offensive line is bad. I don't like the vibe of this franchise. Ownership down. Cliff Kingsbury bailed. Ben Johnson, after interviewing, said it's a lot of basketball guys who think they know football. They just not have enough good young players because they've given up draft picks to get where they're at, and they had a bad weekend.
I only counter to that would be I think the defense will be markedly better. I really do think so. How could you be worse? They were really bad. I think they'll be markedly better on defense. There are a lot of bright spots there, potentially. I think Sonny Styles obviously still in a learning curve, but I think he's going to be great in coverage. And I think offensively, if they can find a way to patch the offensive line and chip and help out, it's going to limit them a little bit. I do think they've had some of their better talent that they've had in years.
If you want to weigh in on the Ravens
think there are
Commanders joint practice,
Some reasons for optimism.
You can do that at 800-636-1067 on an open line Thursday. Don't forget Dave Richer from CBSSports.com. He's going to help you get ready for your upcoming fantasy football draft.
Upcoming for me is tomorrow night at 5.
You all have them. And we'll be joined by Nikki Jabvala at 8:25. She was at Commanders-Ravens joint practice yesterday. That's all coming up on The Fan.